Welcome back, everyone.
You're not my real dad. You're not even my real dad.
Okay.
Oh, kids. Go on, Karen.
Episode 8, March 27th, 2020.
Eight
Why
episodes
did you break
in the
out
can.
into that?
Well, a lot of people are having trouble with their kids. I mean, you may have trouble already, but especially if all your kid says is, "You're not even my real dad. I don't want to do online homework."
Well, sometimes that's actually the sad reality of life right now. So you know what? We have to be mindful of those who are having problems. So I think that's why Joe brought that up. So we're going to check in on our mood meter today. I'm serene, serene.
And I'm sponsored by Wawa. Thank you, Wawa. They gave me free air the other day. Do you believe it?
I'm going to start off on a fun fact, national...
Go on.
Up. I was saving it. It's actually National Joe Day today, for real.
Well, all right.
It's National Joe Day, and it's also National Paella. Oh, we've had paella.
So really,
before.
it's
What do we
National
have?
Ose Day.
Well, so I knew you would like all of that. So we actually had fresh paella in Barcelona this summer.
We did.
My first time.
And I mean, it wasn't really that great, was it? I mean, maybe the restaurant didn't really seem like they were at a time where they wanted. It was like coffee time or tea time or whatever.
Yeah, it was
I
like
don't think they felt like serving because I remember when I said to the waiter, he even goes, sitting down for food because I guess they have a time later in the day where they actually feel like making food and serving you. And just because they're open doesn't necessarily mean they want to cook for you. But us being greedy, selfish Americans, we said, we want food, we want paella, we said, USA. And then we started rocking out. Then I even said to the waiter, "You're not even my real dad.
Oh, okay. Joe, did you have a cup of Joe this morning?
Where does that rank on the mood meter?
Wow. I think you are in the red.
That was rhetorical.
Nervous. Yeah, I know it was, but I'm going to diagnose you
for
you. But let's bring us to a sponsor.
Offensive. Go on.
Thanks for your permission.
Thanks for
Vitamin
your diagnosis.
D, for those of you who are not getting as much sunlight as you need, and if you are really stuck indoors, vitamin D.
So, from sunlight.
From sunlight.
All right, so important news. The House will vote by voice so that they don't spread the virus on that $2 trillion deal. They will do a voice vote, so that will happen. So we'll find out soon if people will be getting the money. In New York, patients are sharing ventilators, which isn't even a proven thing of something you should be able to do or can do officially, but they have no other choice. They're running out of supply, so they're now sharing ventilators. A lot of U.S. states want money from the government to protect the elections, but if there was ever a bad time to ask for money for something other than virus protection, but we do have those elections coming up in November, and right now it seems like not even the thing on people's mind. I think Joe Biden's doing a town hall tonight, so we'll see. But the election, you might forget by now, oh yeah, we have to elect a new president, or the same president. We'll see what happens. But there you go.
I'd also like to advertise for polenta. It's one of those options that you could have instead of pasta. So I'm trying to limit my carbs today because it is Friday of Lent, and I am observing that today. So I'm considering making polenta. So if anybody has experience with polenta.
So you can't have cheese.
Right. Well,
growing up in the Islamic community, I don't know about her Catholic ways. So you don't eat meat on the Fridays of Lent, is that right?
Correct.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I want to point out, Denmark, the Netherlands, and the UK have all given money towards keeping people on the payroll, keeping people employed, whereas the USA has not done that, but instead is going to give something which is much more like this unemployment stimulus check. And a lot of commentators said that it's a lot better for morale to do what they did over in the EU to make you feel like you still have a job, not that you're just getting this government handout. Even though it's just different terminology for basically the same thing, but it gives people that pride and, well, at least I didn't lose my job. So Over in the EU, they did more to keep people officially with a job working, whereas here in the USA, giving people the unemployment stimulus checks. It's a different way of looking at things.
So we are getting used to our online schedule, trying to
Yes.
follow that. And that has been pretty interesting. Yesterday I felt really good when I had seen my colleagues, because we've been using Microsoft Teams, and that's the first time I've been exposed to that.
Mm-hmm.
So we were collaborating for several hours during the afternoon yesterday, just talking about how we were going to set things up. And, the county has their programs already established. So we were giving the freedom to use any online platform.
Which is great. I would hate to see that ever change. We have recommended programs, and always they kind of put in your mind that you have to use these programs, but as long as you use whatever program you want that achieves the goal of educating online, you are allowed to, and I hope that never changes. It shouldn't.
So our county uses Canvas. So if anybody out there watching is familiar with Canvas, I've only used it here and there, a little
Here
bit.
here and there.
A little bit when I
And
talk.
everywhere.
There you go. I knew it was a song.
Making good time.
Yeah, and it's funny because actually
Her mother's
a few minutes
favorite
ago,
song.
a few minutes ago, I was just going to say back in the USSR when you were talking about all that political stuff.
Even though I didn't even mention the USSR, but yes,
Yeah,
it would have been a good
you were
song.
heading towards that direction.
Zoom
Okay.
is a program. Zoom, I hear people talking about using
I've
Zoom.
been on Zoom many times.
Okay, so
yes.
there you go. It is now worth more than 4 airlines. I only heard of it maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right now it's worth more than 4 airlines, so if that gives you an idea of the direction.
We are headed in.
We just saw Bill Gates on CNN last night, and what was he talking about? None other than
Microsoft Teams, isn't that?
another product we're supposed to be using. Bill Gates, I'll tell you what, I don't know if he or Bezos is the richest man in the world, but anyway, he's rich. He's on CNN. It's funny the tone he takes, because he really speaks as if he's, greater than any political leader, any bit of royalty. But I mean, like I said in an early episode, the numbers are the numbers. If he's the richest man, I guess he can present himself that way. That tone of like, this is how it is and this is what we need to do. And I mean, are you going to challenge him? Do you have $1 billion? Do you have $57 billion? Probably not. But there you go. Bill Gates was on CNN, reassuring people, letting them know what we have to do. And the tech stocks, the Facebook, the Apple, the Google, the Netflix, they are all projected to do well when this is all over. So if you have money in those, which maybe someone does, eventually they're going to be back up.
They are back up in China. I read something this morning.
Well, for
about
business,
Apple.
but I'm talking about the stock price will
Right.
be what it was a month ago,
Step by step.
day by day. Patrick Duffy, Suzanne Summers. Remember that show on TGIF?
Yeah.
We do have more cases now than China does here in the USA. So much higher population in China, but we have more cases of corona here. And I do have something else to say. Do you want to say anything?
I do. I got to watch Jimmy Fallon's song called Prom with Your Mom. It is hilarious.
Yeah.
I got to see, in fact, if my friend Janelle, shout out to you, if you are watching this episode, we got to see Jimmy Fallon live several years ago in Atlantic City. It was a blast.
Yeah.
So, love Jimmy Fallon. He's
Very
hilarious.
talented.
Yeah, true story. So, if you get a chance, YouTube, Jimmy Fallon's Prom with Your Mom.
I do the rap and I do the workout stuff, but my ultimate goal would be to be on TV like him or Regis and, just entertaining like that.
And
Truly
here we
talented.
are.
His ratings dropped a little because Stephen Colbert kind of proved himself a lot more important as far as getting political news to people, because he could just run laps around Fallon, but Fallon can run laps around Colbert in entertainment. So different skills for different people, I suppose.
Yeah, different skills. Speaking of skills, I am waiting on that bicycle arrival.
That's going to be but we did go for a walk.
Yes, we want to talk about that. The park. We went walking
We went to
yesterday.
St. Thomas. No, just kidding. We went for a walk,
We did,
just
really.
5 minutes from our house, and found pretty much a tropical jungle across the street. We love going to the beach so much, but we switched it up, went for a walk, and we found pretty much, like I said, a tropical jungle. So that was nice. 3 years here, we hadn't even been there. So I'll get into this main thing. Trump, you may know, has said no one is to blame, but then he always adds to it, no one in the U.S. anyway, so kind of hinting at that maybe we should blame China, getting things controversial. And I wanted to point out, I do have a whole long quote, but I don't want to chew up the time. A lot of people will say Trump is no FDR. FDR was great, he pulled America out of the Depression, and Trump can never be like an FDR. FDR famously said the only thing to fear is fear itself. There you go. People say Trump would never make such an eloquent quote like that, never do something to reassure Americans. But I mean, there are different opinions on everything, because a lot of people will also tell you, you know how FDR pulled us out of the Depression?
Tell us.
Many people will say the public works programs, government giving people jobs. But a lot of people will say, let's get real, it was going into World War II, which a lot of people, and I hate to be conspiracy minded because people tend to look down on the conspiracy minded, but many people believe FDR allowed Pearl Harbor to happen just so we could enter World War II, because once the nation is rallied together, we'd really have a reason to be productive and climb out of that depression. So, and that's a hero, that's FDR. Some people consider one of the greatest presidents ever, and even he may have allowed something like that to happen just to get into a war. Brings me to another point. I know I'm talking a lot, but I don't even think something like that is possible now, because people are too informed. We're all on Facebook. If Trump wanted us to go to war with China, we'd have millions of people on Facebook making friends with people in China, be like, nah, let's not do this. We could see through this. I don't even think something like that is possible today.
Psychology. This all has a psychological background.
People are smart enough now to know there's probably no reason to hate anyone across the world. You know,
Love.
and that's not just the smartest intellectual college professors. The average American now, I think, can see through all of that BS.
I attest.
And you don't even need a BS to know that. So there you go.
Well, we thank you so much for watching, and
Wow, we're going to cut it that short?
We're going to cut it that short.
All right, a couple other things.
I guess we're going to keep going.
Professional dog walkers, yes, are complaining that now people don't need them because they're at home anyway and they have the time to walk their dogs.
What is that? I'm a dog watcher. I'm a dog watcher.
There they go now.
Yeah, see, we just made a parody of, right? I'm a dog walker. I'm a dog watcher.
There they go now.
That's a shout out to our friend Eddie Jane.
But anyway, what I was gonna, yeah, and that's actually, thank you, because that's why I meant to mention her. She even though our ratings are dropping, but she's been faithful, and hopefully the ratings will pick back up. But anyway, I was gonna say, in these dire times, do we have time to feel sad for the dog walkers? Oh no, Trump, when are you gonna say something for the dog walkers? I mean, you just can't please everyone. This is something that was important even before all this. The most powerful people we're at 14. We went 17 the other day.
We were at 18 the longest.
We'll be done soon, but most powerful people in politics are over the age of 65. A lot of people will say, oh, come on, we need to be younger. But I don't know. What do you feel about that? That's about our parents' age for both of us. Any thoughts? Do politicians need to be younger? Are they too old?
You know, I say each year brings a year of wisdom.
Yeah, I feel like they've earned it. You've been around that long, and even if you're Joe Biden and you're going into the stages of dementia, aka stuttering problem, but still, he's earned it. I know that was insensitive, but there might be some truth to it. And the last thing I have for us today, experts say it's okay to let your kids eat unhealthy right now in these times because they're so chaotic. But this brings me to another point. Why are they so unsure? Oh, can I let my kids eat junk?
Why are you stocking up on junk to begin with? You know, I watched something yesterday
about there's that, but also why do you need an expert to tell you every little thing? Like, you can make some decisions yourself and do some trial and error. You know, that's my little personal thought. People rely too much on expert opinion. Who are these experts?
I know one expert, so I'll just keep listening.
Yeah.
Just keep listening.
We all know one expert. God bless.
Yep, God bless.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Wow. Nice short show, 15-minute mark. Bye, everybody. Keep tuning in. Thank you, Wawa.
Talk to you soon.